So I am Jen Barnaby, the principal here at Oak Grove School, and it is my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to this amazing community event. Welcome, welcome honored guests, welcome OGS board members, Mrs. Rabia Khan, Mrs. Krisha Ressler, Dr. Henry Liu, Mrs. Kathy DeMoon, and Mrs. Kim Ryman. I'd also like to thank our other board members, Mr. Tony Giamis, and Mrs. Emily Savino. It has taken a lot of work to put this together, and I would also like to thank the staff and the students who have worked so hard to prepare this amazing environment for today. Earlier this week, in this very room, we hosted thousands of registered voters for Election Day. Lucky enough to be here that day, I was able to visit and see how things were going. At one point, a voter judge shouted, "Attention everyone, attention! We have a first-time voter casting her first ballot." The room of people turned to face the judge. Standing beside him was a young lady. Immediately, the room erupted into applause. It was a beautiful moment that reminded me of the rights we have as citizens of this democratic nation. These rights are preserved because of the guests in this room, the honored guests, their comrades in arms, and those who came before them who proudly fought to protect and defend our country, our freedoms, our rights. I would like to acknowledge our guests here today. And if you are able, please stand when I name the branch in which you served. Army. Marine Corps. Navy. Air Force. Space Force. Coast Guard. National Guard. Thank you for joining me in thanking these men and women who served and who continue to serve our country in the name of peace and freedom. As I was reading through the history of Veterans Day prepared in today's program, I was struck by the last phrase in this sentence. Armistice Day became a national holiday so citizens and military soldiers could pay tribute to the unknown soldier and the ending of World War I, the war to end all wars. Sadly, there has not yet been a war that has ended all wars. For the young in this room, I think it is important to highlight that while we have not experienced a war in the United States within our lifetime, there is still war going on in other areas of the world, and members of our armed forces are there. In fact, February 2022, the United States Department of Defense has deployed or extended over 20,000 additional forces, American forces, to Europe in response to the Ukraine crisis, adding additional air, land, maritime, cyber, and space capabilities, bringing our current total to more than 100,000 American service members across Europe. Those of you young in this room, Why is this important for you to understand? Because not only are we citizens of the United States of America, our citizenship spans the globe. While we do not have a war going on in our country, we have relatives, friends, neighbors, who are members of our armed forces around the world who put their lives in danger each day to support and defend our Constitution, to ensure our nation's security, to lead others to defend their country, and to support international peacekeeping and humanitarian efforts across the globe. Our honored guests here today have made it possible for all of us in this room to continue enjoying our freedom. At this time, in honor of our active duty armed service members, we have two proud members of our Oak Grove community who will now present the yellow ribbon. We have Mrs. Bonnie Brown, mother of Ensign Thomas Brown, and Mrs. Zarina Rodriguez, wife of HTC John Rodriguez. We will now hear a few words from our OGS Student Council President, Osaro Osai Iwen.
Hello everybody, my name is Osaro Osaiwan, and as Student Council President, it is my honor to welcome you all to this Veterans Day celebration of 2022. For the past several weeks, our student body has been planning rigorously for this very day. I would like to thank everyone in attendance. Thank you for coming. We would like to give a special thanks to all those who have served. We are aware of all the duties and acts you have done for this country. And the rest of the student body are overjoyed to have you here today. Thank you, veterans. Now everyone, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
History of Veterans Day, 1921. In 1921, an unknown World War I soldier was laid to rest in Arlington National Cemetery. Many people came to the burial, and a military ceremony was performed for the unknown soldier. Armistice Day. On November 11th, people began to celebrate the end of World War I fighting, ending on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. A memorial ceremony for the unknown soldier was included during the celebration. The day was christened Armistice Day. Armistice Day became a national holiday so citizens and military soldiers could pay tribute to the unknown soldier and the ending of World War I, the war to end all wars.
World War I. However, World War I was not the last war the American soldiers fought. and more than 400,000 soldiers died in the war following the implementation of Armistice Day. To pay honor and tribute to all those who served in American wars, a proposal was made to change Armistice Day to Veterans Day.
1958. In 1958, two more unknown soldiers were brought home, one killed in the World War I and another in the Korean War, and were buried beside the unknown soldier. Ceremonies took place on November 11th for the three unknown soldiers.
1984. In 1984, another unknown soldier killed during the Vietnam War was buried beside the unknown soldier. Presently, an Army Honor Guard keeps vigil day and night at Arlington National Cemetery.
In conclusion, November 11th is now recognized as a day to pay tribute and honor to all American soldiers who have served our country in the armed forces. We at Oak Grove School wish to recognize all men and women of our armed forces.
Now we would like to hear the band play.
Please rise and join us if you can for the Star Spangled Banner.
It is the veteran.
It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech.
It is the veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us the freedom to assemble. It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us freedom to a fair trial.
It is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote.
It is the veteran that salutes the flag and serves under it.
We would now like to present the 8th grade student poems.
I think of the veteran. When I lay my head down on my pillow, I think of the soldier lying underneath the willow. When I walk the streets upon this land, I think of the veteran who fought for every man, every woman, every person, every family. The veteran who believed that equality wasn't just a fantasy. Religious or not, I think of my right to choose and the courageous veteran who would sacrifice themselves that one cloudy afternoon. When I argue for new liberties in the country I reside, I think of the veteran who would never run and hide. So when I close my eyes and fall asleep, I think of the family who mourns and weeps.
breathed, you broke. We were frightened, you were fearless. We are saved, you saved us. So thank you for standing tall and carrying the flag when death, destruction, and devastation was at your feet. Thank you for being a warrior with a heart of gold. Thank you for being the light that saved us from our dark world. Thank you for sacrificing your own world for us. Thank you for doing what we never could. Your legacy is etched into each and every one of us, and it will not be forgotten. For you are the reason we are all here today.
In closing, I would like to share these words from Alejandro Mayorkas, Secretary of Homeland Security. This year's theme for Veterans Day is at the very center of military service: honor. Honor reflects the value and tradition of answering the call to duty in service of one's team, institution, and nation. There are 16.5 million American veterans who embody this ethos. Our nation is safer, stronger, and more resilient as a direct result of every exceptional individual who raised their hand and swore the oath to protect our homeland at home and abroad in times of conflict and in times of peace. To those who have served and who are now serving in the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard, and National Guard, we express our enduring debt of gratitude for everything you have done and continue to do on behalf of the United States of America and all of us. As our ceremony has now come to its close, we would like to honor our guests with a reception in our junior high cafeteria just down the hall. Please enjoy yourselves there for the next hour as our team transforms this gym into our Veterans Museum. We will invite you to return to the gym at around 10:30. We look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for attending.